This is a hawk I tamed, and in this video, I'm going to show you the steps I took to get her from this to this. Taming, habituation, acclimatization, conditioning, or as it's called in falconry, manning. Manning is an essential part of training a bird of prey. Manning begins at the very start of the relationship and continues throughout. The process of manning is designed to allow the hawk to accustom to the hustle and bustle of daily life with the falconer. It allows the hawk to be comfortable around the falconer, being approached, being picked up, and carried on the fist. It allows them to be comfortable with the sights and sounds of the environment that surrounds it. With many falconers, it also allows the hawk to become comfortable living and working with dogs. The unmanned hawk will bait, jump off the perch in attempts to fly away when approached, and will generally show bad manners when with the falconer. Scientifically, manning is the decrease in a hawk's response to an inconsequential stimulus. Your brain takes up about 20% of your body's energy. So from an evolutionary standpoint, this allows the hawk to focus on more important events by relaxing cognition. Before any manning can take place, the hawk must first be equipped with furniture. As demonstrated on our disabled peregrine here, the hawk will wear anklets, a pair of mews jesses, a swivel, and a leash. If attempting to man a hawk with no equipment on, she will constantly fly away from the falconer, and it will take a long time before she allows you near her. If you had to grab the hawk round her body and physically hold her to keep her with you, then she will see you as a negative thing, and manning will never happen. The furniture allows the falconer to hold the hawk for manning, but in a way that allows her to stand comfortably on the glove. Once the hawk is wearing furniture, the first stages of manning can begin. Looking through old falconry books shows some contrasting views on the best techniques for manning. The Falconry Encyclopedia describes a process known as waking. This is where the bird is kept on the falconer's glove for hours, not allowing her to sleep. Sometimes the falconer would even pass the hawk to his apprentice to allow him to sleep, meaning this could go on for days. This is now seen as cruel, and it's not a very common technique anymore. An illustration from the 14th century shows falconers holding water in their mouths and spraying it at the hawk if she baits. The 1615 First Book of Falconry describes using a feather to gently touch the hawk while she is on the fist. These are examples of positive punishment and negative reinforcement. But to understand these terms, we first need to look at operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is a process used to modify certain behaviours to either strengthen or remove them. Reinforcement increases a behaviour and punishment decreases a behaviour. In operant conditioning training, there are positive techniques and negative techniques. This is where people tend to get confused. Positive and negative do not mean nice or nasty or good and bad. Positive is merely the addition of something, while negative is the removal. Spitting water at a baiting hawk is positive punishment. The addition of the water in response to the hawk doing something the falconer does not want. A very old-fashioned and traditional method of manning would be to sit in a completely darkened room with the hawk just by candlelight. The only issue with that is what happens when the bird baits. While my first stage of manning does involve just quietly sitting with the hawk, rather than dark room, I'm very lucky to have plenty of flying and training permission, including quiet woods. By taking the hawk into the woods, all the sights and sounds take her attention. This means she pays very little attention to me. She then begins to become comfortable on the glove and in my presence, without even realising, because she was so focused on her surroundings. Once she is comfortable sitting within my presence, I begin some operant conditioning. A tame hawk should allow you to touch her. This helps when changing or removing her equipment for flying, health checks, and to check her body condition. She needs to be trained to allow the falconer to do this. Negative reinforcement is used here. A feather is used to gently stroke the hawk. She may appear to look offended by this to begin with, The goal is to keep the feather there until she pays it no attention. When she relaxes, we reward her by removing the feather. This is why this is negative reinforcement. I make sure to gently stroke her with the feather in several places so she is used to being touched all over. The reason I use a feather to begin with is because if I used my finger straight away and she bit me and I pulled away, I would be training her to bite, as this got her the result she wants, to be left alone. I use the feather as it allows me to keep it there no matter how hard she wants to bite it. She needs to learn that biting will get her nowhere. When she begins to relax and pay the feather no attention, I begin to move my fingers up the feather until I am eventually stroking her with my own hand. She is now tame enough to sit comfortably with me and be touched by my hand. Next, I want to reinforce the glove as a positive place to be. Operant conditioning is used again, this time positive reinforcement is used. I place her on a perch and sit beside her. I hold a small amount of food in my glove and wait for her to step to the glove. When she steps onto the glove, she is rewarded with the food. Positive reinforcement. At one point, she jumps eagerly to the glove and almost lands on my arm. I hold onto the food whilst I move her foot. She's still in early manning stages here, so she can still be a little aggressive with her feet. I have to be careful. When I have got her foot into the correct place and she is standing on the glove in the right position, she is allowed the food reward. This helps to reinforce correct manners whilst on the glove. She now sees the glove as a positive place to be and will nicely step up to the glove from the perch to sit comfortably. The final step of manning before she is trained to fly is to take her out on walks so that she is used to being carried and to allow her to get used to many things around her.
This is one of the woods that she's going to be trained and flown in. So we're just on a short walk so that she can get used to all the sights and sounds that she'll be seeing when she's flying here. I've had a funny relationship with manning as a falconer. When I first started in falconry, I thought manning was incredible. The chance to just sit up close and get personal with a bird of prey was amazing to me. As I started to get more experienced in falconry, I started to see manning as a bit of an annoying hurdle that I had to just get over before I could start the exciting flying training. So I started to resent manning and found it a bit boring. But now I realise how lucky I am. Not many people get to form such a bond with an animal like a bird of prey. The manning process is the entire setup for the relationship with that hawk. The ability to begin to understand and work with each other. It's not a boring process, it's a privilege really. And here are some do's and don'ts of manning. Do enjoy it. It's a vital part of training your hawk and you should enjoy every single process of that. Don't get frustrated. If your hawk is not making the progress as fast as you would like, or she won't stop baiting, if you start to get annoyed or frustrated, you will only make things worse. Take a break and try again the next day. Do take your time. It's not a race. You don't need to try and boast to other falconers about how fast you've trained your bird. Make sure you take your time on every single process. Don't overdo it. If you spend too much time manning, there's a risk that the bird may become frustrated, and then you'll end the session on a negative note. Always quit whilst you're ahead and make sure you end the session on a positive note. Do try different techniques. Every falconer and hawk is an individual. What works for one falconer might not work for another. So try different techniques and find out what works best for you and your hawk. Don't neglect the hood. The hood can be the best tool when manning your hawk. Use it. Do watch this next video if you would like to see the rest of the training to get this hawk flying free.